headed to Pyeongchang, where the Olympics may be over, but questions about a diplomatic breakthrough are not. Moments after Kim Jong-un described a new round of U.S. sanctions as, quote, an act of war, Ivanka Trump seen attending the closing ceremonies seated between the president of South Korea and North Korea's head of intelligence. ABC's Matt Gutman reports tonight from South Korea.
It's embarrassing.
Obviously it's completely natural and affects, practically half of the population.
Truthfully, I steal from a shop. I've had to steal.
I think it gives young women back their dignity and their freedom as well.
Fatality. Wow, you got a vehicle that's between what appears to have been the rubble of what was once a home. At this home here, it looks like a shed that was completely destroyed.
Alexa, refill my prescription. Okay, we can't do that just yet, but a new powerhouse collaboration between Amazon, Berkshire Hathaway, and JP Morgan is looking to bring affordable healthcare to their US-based employees. In a joint press release, the companies run by Jeff Bezos, Warren Buffett, and Jamie Dimon say their aim will be to improve employee satisfaction while reducing those expensive healthcare costs.
What appears to be a big explosion which has completely flattened the building that it happened in, which is a retail shop and a flat upstairs. I was sitting in my back room. I felt a huge shock to the house, which felt like either the roof was coming in or the boiler had exploded. And once I checked at my house, okay.
Brian came in off the street after he lost someone special.
I lost my wife 4 years ago.
John and his family lost Lachlan.
Nobody should ever have to bury their children.
Anyone can walk it. It's free, no appointment required.
Strangers walk in and they sit down and they share very deep, meaningful events that are happening in their life.
Amid the pomp and pageantry of the closing ceremonies, a dizzying array of diplomatic signals from North Korea. Just moments after Ivanka Trump took her seat, barely an arm's length away from North Korea's powerful spy chief in that fur hat, North Korea's leader, Kim Jong-un, labeling the tough new U.S. sanctions against the North an act of war.
You panic, you get real anxiety because of it. It's not nice. I hate it, it's horrible. I'm not there, not the family, not really care about you much. Just feel not wanting.
CNN estimates the three companies employed 840,000 people globally last year. The companies plan to create a new independent company they say will be free from profit-making incentives and constraints. Buffett explaining, the ballooning costs of healthcare act as a hungry tapeworm on the American economy.
I ran straight out the front door, up the street and round the corner to the shop. And it's blown debris debris and rubble across 4 lanes of traffic. There was an enormous fire, and pretty quickly all of the 999 services were in attendance. And there's now a cordon which is affecting, there's probably 60 houses within a cordon, and we've all been evacuated.
Okay, so welcome everybody.
Caroline Lou sometimes meets people on their own. She also does house calls. But today,
I'm not suffering alone.
it's a group session.
Taken from us far too soon.
Caroline's greatest skill is keeping quiet.
That was amazing, thank you. It's my job to listen. It's my job to hear between the lines.
Anne, who lost her son Daniel, hated meeting people grocery shopping.
And I'll be blubbering, you know, by the frozen peas.
Those sanctions, which the administration calls the toughest yet, include the possibility of a U.S. naval blockade of North Korea.
We're going to continue a campaign of maximum pressure.
But just minutes later, with those dancers and lights still dazzling the crowd, a surprise diplomatic twist. North Korea saying its delegation would be willing to meet with the U.S. delegation.
It's like worrying, because what if you get caught, like the charges against you with the police involved and then getting banned from shop.
Always been a huge advocate for women's rights.
Meanwhile, Andy's son is losing his sight.
Even though I still have him, he's changing and life is horrific at times.
Oh, well done, Liz.
Caroline lets them explore their grief and gives them tools to help.
Listen, sing to music,
For Liz, who lost her husband David, it was a list.
pay someone to clean your house.
That's lovely.
Caroline Lou has experienced grief too.
When Sarah died, my heart broke.
Indeed, a report from JP Morgan Chase revealed Americans on average spend $714 or 1.6% of their take-home pay on out-of-pocket healthcare costs in 2016. It's unclear how the venture will work, but they say they'll be putting their initial focus on technology, with the potential to eventually benefit other companies in the future. And that's sure to bring some smiles to a few workers' faces.
It is a sort of big taboo at the moment, so a lot of the issues around a lack of access comes from the fact that people just don't talk about it enough. They may be using tissues, rags, things which aren't clean, which are going to cause them not only sort of severe discomfort, but also could possibly lead to sort of health problems and things like that.
When she lost her daughter, there was nowhere to go for help.
I know that if a place like this had existed, I would have walked past maybe 10 times before I got up the courage to come in, but I would have because I was desperate and I needed help.
So Caroline did something.
Big risk, quitting my job.
Then she opened a drop-in grief centre her family helped renovate. It was an immediate hit.
I think in the first 2 weeks there would have been 50 or 60 people walk through the door.
Caroline's message is to hunt for positives.
Look for the good in life and remember to hold on because pain will ease.
It would have been the highest level talks in nearly a decade. So far, that hasn't happened, and Ivanka Trump is set to leave the region overnight.
Is there anything to talk about with the North? Would there be anything to talk about?
Until we see some movement, the denuclearization of the peninsula, then there's really not a lot for us to talk about, or that the conversation would change in any dramatic fashion.
As a woman, I wouldn't want to be vocalising what I needed in regard to that kind of support. It's about like that freedom of not asking, just knowing it's there, because it is a very embarrassing topic.
Tom, and there's been more intrigue at these games. Officials here believe that Russian cyber spies have hacked hundreds of Olympics-related computers, making it look like the North Koreans did it. Now, analysts here tell us that this could be payback over Russia being banned from these games over doping.
Hoping now I've got my money, trying to sort my money situation out, I might not have to steal as often as I need to.
John found one when his son's heart was donated to a little boy called Dominic.
We've done what we can to get the positives out of it.
Last year, the Grief Centre had 1,700 requests for help.
Come in quite sad sometimes, you go away laughing.
Caroline says everyone grieves at some time.
Not quite sure what we would have done without you.
I have learnt to see joy again, and this place brings me great joy.
All she needs now is a tissue sponsor.
Could do some more.